My friend Jess hasn't had a single free Saturday in 7 months, and I need you to really sit with that for a second, because she is not lazy, she is not careless with money, she is not making bad decisions, she is up at 5:45 a.m. driving for Lyft before the sun comes up, she is doing freelance graphic design on Sundays, she is clocking 55 hours of work every single week between her full-time job and her side hustle, and after taxes, gas, and fees she is keeping maybe $480 a month, and she told me herself, not dramatically, not for sympathy, just as a fact, that she sometimes cries in her car between rides because she is so tired she doesn't know what else to do with the feeling. Her coworker Marcus goes home at 5 p.m. He plays basketball on Saturdays. He cooks dinner most nights. He reads before bed. From the outside, Marcus looks like he is doing a lot less than Jess, a lot less, but Marcus has $91,000 invested right now and Jess has $14,000, and they earn the same salary, live in the same city, and are the exact same age. So before you tell me this is a story about income or privilege or luck, let me stop you right there, because it is not. It is a story about 50 micro habits that most people will never talk about on Instagram because there is nothing to photograph, nothing to sell, nothing to turn into a course, just boring, automatic, tiny financial decisions that individually seem like almost nothing and collectively, over 10, 20, 30 years, will quietly separate you from almost everyone around you. And I am going to give you all 50 of them right now, so stay with me, because by the end of this you are going to understand something about money that most people spend their entire lives missing. The average American side hustler earns about $530 a month according to recent data. The median, which is more honest, is just $200, and according to a 2026 Penny Hoarder survey, 75% of side hustlers say inflation has increased their reliance on that extra income. Meaning the hustle is not building wealth anymore, it is just keeping them afloat, running faster to stay in the same spot, and 67% of them report experiencing burnout. 2/3 of people who picked up a second job to get ahead are burning out trying to stay even. So here is the mathematical reality nobody in the hustle culture conversation wants to say out loud. When Jess earns $480 from her weekend hustle, she spends it, groceries, gas, a dinner out, it is consumed, it is gone, it generates zero future value. But when Marcus invests $350 a month through his collection of micro habits, that money compounds, and at 8% returns over 20 years his $350 a month becomes roughly $207,000, and over 30 years it becomes over $528,000, because the side hustle income gets spent and the micro habit savings get invested. One is linear and the other is exponential, and compound interest only works on money you actually keep. So let's get into it. Habit 1. Automate your investing on the day after payday so the money leaves your account before you ever see it, because this single habit is responsible for more millionaires than any stock pick, any real estate deal, or any side hustle in history. The Vanguard 2025 How America Saves report found that 401k participants who use automatic escalation reach a savings rate nearly double those who don't, because automation removes the decision, and when the decision is removed, consistency becomes inevitable. Habit 2. Increase your retirement contribution by exactly 1% every January, because your brain cannot detect 1% missing from a paycheck, it genuinely cannot, but that 1% compounded over a full career can add more than $100,000 to your retirement balance. Habit 3. Round up every single debit card purchase to the nearest dollar and invest the spare change automatically, because the average person makes roughly 70 transactions a month. And over 20 years at 8% returns that pocket change becomes roughly $21,000 from money you never even noticed leaving. Habit 4. Move your savings into a high-yield savings account right now, because in 2026 the best high-yield accounts are paying around 4% APY while the national average on a regular savings account is 0.38%, and on $10,000 that is the difference between earning $400 a year and earning $38, same money, same effort, different account. That is literally it. Habit 5. Set your credit card to autopay the full balance every single month without exception, because the average American carries about $6,500 in credit card debt at 22.4% APR, and autopay in full means that number stays at zero for you, forever, permanently, with zero willpower required. Habit 6. Spend exactly 5 minutes on the first of every month scanning your bank statement for charges you don't recognize and subscriptions you forgot about, because a 2026 study found that 74% of Americans underestimate their subscription spending by more than $100 a month, and 5 minutes of looking catches what 12 months of ignoring costs you over $1,200 a year evaporating quietly from your account. Habit 7. Use the 24-hour rule on any purchase over $50. Meaning you see something you want, you wait 1 day, and if you still want it tomorrow you buy it, but if you forgot about it you just saved $50 without any willpower, without any deprivation, without any sacrifice, and since impulse spending averages $282 a month for Americans, this one rule cuts into that significantly. Habit 8. Unsubscribe from every marketing email the moment it arrives in your inbox. Because every promotional email is a temptation engineered by a team of psychologists and data scientists specifically designed to make you spend money you were not planning to spend. So remove the trigger and you remove the behavior entirely. Habit 9. Delete shopping apps from your phone and keep them only on your laptop. And at an average roundup of 50 cents, that is $35 a month invested without effort. Friction of opening a laptop, logging in, and navigating to a website is enough to prevent roughly 40% of impulse purchases. Your phone makes spending frictionless, and friction is your best financial friend. Habit 10. Track every dollar you spend for at least 1 month per quarter, because you do not need to budget forever, but 1 month of tracking 4 times a year keeps your spending awareness sharp, and people who track consistently save 15 to 20% more than people who don't, because tracking makes invisible spending finally visible. Habit 11. Pack your lunch just 2 extra days per week, not every day, just 2, because the average lunch bought out costs $12 to $18 while a packed lunch costs roughly $3, saving about $20 a week, over $1,000 a year, and if you invest that at 8% for 25 years it becomes roughly $79,000 from sandwiches. Habit 12. Eat something before you go grocery shopping every single time. Because studies consistently show that hungry shoppers spend 20 to 30% more than those who eat beforehand, which on a weekly $100 grocery run is $20 to $30 of food you did not plan for and will probably throw away. Habit 13. Use a grocery list and stick to it without exception, because every item not on the list does not go in the cart, and the average American household wastes about 30% of the food it buys. A list is not just a shopping tool. It is a waste reduction tool worth hundreds of dollars a year. Habit 14. Brew coffee at home 4 days a week and buy it out once as a treat, because a $6 coffee 5 days a week is $1,560 a year, while brewing 4 and buying 1 drops that to around $350, saving over $700 a year while you still fully enjoy your Friday latte. Habit 15. Cook 1 extra serving every single time you make dinner and take it for lunch the next day, because you are already cooking. You just make 1 more plate, cover it, grab it in the morning, done, and this eliminates a $12 to $18 lunch purchase without requiring a single additional minute of your time. Habit 16. Meal plan just 3 dinners per week, because 3 dinners planned in advance eliminates 3 instances of the "I don't know what to eat so I'll order" delivery spiral, and at an average delivery cost of $42 per order including fees and tip, that is $126 a week you are protecting, which is over $6,000 a year redirected from DoorDash to your bank account. Habit 17. Drink water at restaurants instead of ordering drinks, because a soda costs $3 and a cocktail costs $12 to $18, and over 50 restaurant visits a year ordering water saves between $150 and $900 depending on what you would have ordered. The entire habit requires saying exactly 1 word. Habit 18. Negotiate your internet bill every 12 months by calling your provider, telling them you are considering switching, and asking what they can do for you, because Consumer Reports found that 70% of people who do this receive a discount averaging over $100 per year. 2 minutes of mild discomfort, once a year, $100 back in your pocket. Habit 19. Get competing car insurance quotes every 6 months and call your current provider with the lowest quote you find, because they will either match it or beat it, and Marcus has shaved about $400 a year off his premium since he started doing this without switching a single time. Habit 20. Call the number on the back of your credit card and ask for a lower APR, cite your payment history. Habit 22. Cancel 1 subscription per month that you have not used in the last 30 days, because most people add about 2.5 new subscriptions per year and only cancel about 1. the drift is always upward, and a monthly audit reverses the drift. Habit 23. Pay every single bill on time every single time without exception. Because late fees average $25 to $50 per occurrence, and beyond the fee itself, late payments damage your credit score, which raises your interest rates on everything from car loans to mortgages. And this one habit protects you from thousands of dollars in hidden costs over a lifetime. Habit 24. Buy generic brands for medications, cleaning products, and pantry staples. Because the FDA requires generic drugs to contain the same active ingredients as name brands, same compound, same dose, same effect, 40 to 60% cheaper, and across a year of household supplies this saves roughly $1,300. Habit 25. Wait for sales specifically on things you were already going to buy, because the habit is to write down what you actually need and then wait for that item to go on sale, which is entirely different from seeing a sale and deciding to buy. One saves money and the other spends money you would not have spent. Habit 26. Price compare before every purchase over $25 by spending 20 seconds checking just one competing retailer, because browser extensions do this automatically now, and the average savings is 8 to 15% on a $100 purchase. That is $8 to $15 saved in 20 seconds, and your side hustle does not pay that well per minute. Habit 27. Buy used when the function of an item matters more than its appearance, because furniture, cars, exercise equipment, and electronics one generation old work identically to new ones at 40% of the price. My friend Nicole furnished her entire apartment for $2,100 using Facebook Marketplace, while her coworker spent $11,000 at West Elm for the same number of rooms. Habit 28. Clear your cookies and search for a coupon code before buying anything online, because retailers use cookies to track your interest and sometimes raise prices for repeat visitors. Clearing cookies resets your profile, and a coupon search takes 15 seconds and works roughly 30% of the time, saving an average of 10 to 20% on the purchase. Habit 29. Return things you do not need instead of letting them sit in a corner indefinitely, because Americans waste an estimated $53 billion a year on items they intended to return but never did. That shirt with the tag still on, that gadget in the drawer, past you made the mistake, and present you does not have to keep paying for it. Habit 30. Buy in bulk only for items you actually use regularly, like toilet paper, rice, canned goods, and cleaning supplies, because bulk buying saves 20 to 30% per unit on high-use staples and completely destroys your budget when you bulk buy perishables or specialty items you use once a month. The habit is selectivity, not volume. Habit 31. Switch to LED light bulbs in every single fixture in your home, because LED bulbs use 75% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last 25 times longer according to the Department of Energy, and switching a household of 30 bulbs saves roughly $225 a year in electricity with zero ongoing effort. Habit 32. Adjust your thermostat by just 2 degrees, cooler in winter, warmer in summer, because the Department of Energy estimates this saves about 3% on your heating and cooling bill per degree. And on a $2,000 annual energy bill, that 2-degree shift saves roughly $120 a year, while you will genuinely not feel the difference. Habit 33. Unplug electronics you are not actively using, because phantom load, the energy drawn by devices that are off but still plugged in, costs the average American household about $165 a year according to National Resources Defense Council data, and hitting one switch on a power strip eliminates it entirely. Habit 34. Wash your clothes in cold water, because roughly 90% of the energy your washing machine uses goes toward heating water. Cold water cleans just as well for most loads, saves about $65 a year in energy costs, and extends the life of your clothes so you replace them less often. Habit 35. Air dry your clothes whenever weather permits, because a dryer costs roughly 45 to 60 cents per load, and 5 loads a week is $120 to $156 a year, while a clothesline costs about $15 total. Habit 36. Drive the speed limit and accelerate calmly, because aggressive driving, rapid acceleration, hard braking, and speeds above 65 miles per hour reduce fuel efficiency by 15 to 30% according to the Department of Energy, and on a $40 tank of gas that is $6 to $12 wasted per fill-up, drive calmly and save over $300 a year in gas alone. Habit 37. Maintain your car on schedule without skipping, because skipping a $40 oil change can lead directly to a $3,000 engine repair, and maintenance is not spending. It is insurance against catastrophic future spending. your 401k to capture your full employer match every single paycheck, because Fidelity reported that 88% of 401k participants received an employer match in Q4 2025, and the ones who did not contribute enough left thousands of dollars of free money on the table, free money that was sitting there waiting and they walked past it. Habit 42. Set up a sinking fund for predictable annual expenses by dividing the yearly total by 12 and automatically transferring that amount every month into a separate account, because car registration, holiday gifts, and insurance premiums are not surprises. They happen every year, and when the expense hits, the money is already sitting there waiting. No credit card needed, no financial stress, no panic. Habit 43. Name your savings account something emotionally meaningful like My First House or Freedom Fund or Never Broke Again, because behavioral research consistently shows that people save more when accounts have emotional labels that make spending the money feel like a betrayal of a real goal rather than a neutral transaction. Habit 44. Use your public library instead of buying books, because the average American who reads regularly spends $250 to $400 a year on books, and your library has the same books for free along with audiobooks, ebooks, movies, and magazines. The richest free resource in your zip code is sitting there funded by your taxes, and most people act like it simply does not exist. Habit 45. Set one specific no-spend day per week where you buy absolutely nothing, no coffee, no Amazon, no grocery run, nothing. Because this saves somewhere between $20 and $50 per occurrence, and over a year that is $1,000 to $2,600, while also showing you just how many spending decisions you are making completely on autopilot every single day. Habit 46. Set a firm spending cap on gifts and tell your friends and family you are keeping gifts under $30 this year, because most people will be immediately relieved since they were stressed about gift spending too. And the average American spends nearly $1,000 on holiday gifts alone. A $30 cap saves hundreds of dollars without damaging a single relationship. Habit 47. Switch your phone display to grayscale mode right now, because color triggers dopamine responses that drive app engagement, including shopping apps. Grayscale makes your phone genuinely boring to look at, which reduces screen time by 15 to 20% in multiple studies. And less screen time means less exposure to ads, less impulse shopping, less late-night Amazon browsing. The setting takes 10 seconds to activate and passively protects your wallet every single time you pick up your phone. Habit 48. Sell one thing per month that you are not using. Clothes you have outgrown, kitchen gadgets collecting dust, the exercise equipment that became a clothes rack in February, because listed on Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, or eBay, each item typically generates $50 to $100 in about 10 minutes. And every sale is money recovered from a past spending mistake that you do not have to keep carrying. Habit 49. Use your credit card rewards intentionally and strategically rather than just letting them accumulate and cashing them out without thinking. Because travel rewards redeemed for flights are typically worth 30 to 50% more per point than cash back. If you earn 20,000 points a year, strategic redemption can mean the difference between a $150 statement credit and a $300 flight. Same points, completely different awareness, completely different outcome. And habit 50, the one that ties every single other habit together. The reason Marcus has $91,000 while Jess has $14,000 despite her earning more from her second income stream than he saves from his first. Read one personal finance article per week, not a course, not a textbook, just one article, 10 minutes, because over a year that is 52 articles, and the cumulative knowledge changes how you think about every financial decision you make. It compounds exactly like money does with every new concept connecting to 5 previous ones until suddenly you are seeing patterns you never noticed before. And when you understand why automating investments matters, you do not need motivation to do it. Wealth is built the way a river carves a canyon, slowly, quietly, through the relentless repetition of small forces that individually seem like nothing and collectively reshape the entire landscape of your financial life. You do not need a side hustle. You need 50 boring micro habits and the understanding of why each one matters. Start with whichever one you want, just start, and if this kind of real, unsexy, actually works money content is what you have been looking for, subscribe to Liana Invests right now, because every single week we break down exactly how to build real wealth quietly, without burning out, without a second job, and without waiting for some perfect moment that is never going to come on its own.